Hey everyone, welcome to Wishing Well BBQ. I'm Dustin Wells, and today we're going to do a reverse sear tri-tip. Let's do it. Tri-tip is a really popular meat in barbecue on the West Coast, and I never see it here in Kentucky. So I was very excited to get this beautiful 2.5 pound tri-tip from Porter and York. There are really two different types of ways that we can cook a tri-tip that I've seen. We can cook it like a steak and cook it to medium rare, or we can cook it like a brisket and take it to about 203, 205 so that it falls apart. But for today's video, we're gonna reverse sear this tri-tip. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should do a brisket style tri-tip next. Hey, you know what? I can't wait to eat this tri-tip, so let's go ahead and get it ready for the smoker. I've got this beautiful 2.5 pound tri-tip from Porter and York. You can check out their online website and they ship it directly to you, and it stays cold and it's never frozen. We don't have too much trimming that we have to do. I am going to come through and take some of this silver skin off. We don't necessarily want to chew on that later. Porter and York really did an amazing job trimming this, so I don't have too much to do, but I am going to take off some of this hard fat right here. Flip it over to the other side here. Get rid of just a little bit more of this silver skin on the edge here. And honestly, that's it. That's all of the trimming that I need to do to this tri-tip. Now, something to keep in mind is you want to watch which direction the grain runs, so when you slice it later, you slice it against the grain. As you can see down here on the bottom side, this is going against the grain, but then when we get to this half here where the point is, the grain starts to go this way. So we need to make a mental line right here so that we know which direction to slice this tri-tip. The first thing I'm gonna add to this tri-tip is some Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna put that all over the tri-tip. This is gonna add a little bit of flavor and give it a binder for our seasoning. The first seasoning I'm gonna put on this tri-tip is my Wishing Well BBQ Texas Cowboy Rub. If you don't have this, any SPG will do, but I want to go ahead and get a nice liberal coat on this tri-tip. This Texas Cowboy has some amazing flavor: salt, pepper, garlic, a couple other things, and a really awesome color. I'm also going to add my Wishing Well BBQ competition style rub just for some color and a little extra flavor. Let's flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. And this is exactly what you're looking for. The tri-tip is nice and seasoned on all sides. Now we're just gonna let our tri-tip hang out here on the cutting board while we get our smoker fired up. So let's do it. Today I'm going to be cooking on my Oklahoma Joe Bronco drum smoker. And to get this fire started, the first thing I need to do is fill up the charcoal basket with lump charcoal. Then I'm going to put that basket back in the drum smoker and get the fire started with my propane torch. Once I've got some of those coals going, then I'm gonna put 4 chunks of hickory and go ahead and put in my diffuser plate. Lastly, I'm gonna close down the smoker and open up these vents until I get the smoker up to 250 degrees. All right, the Bronco is up to temperature, so now I'm just ready to put this tri-tip right on the center grate here. I'm gonna kind of bunch it up just a little bit. I'm gonna stick my thermoprobe probe right in the deepest part of the tri-tip, and I'm looking to bring this to 115 degrees before we sear it. Let's close it down and let it cook. While I've got this tri-tip cooking on the smoker, I'm gonna go ahead and make a baste for this whenever we let it rest, that we can put all over that tri-tip to give it just a little bit more flavor. I've got about half a stick of butter inside of a smoker safe container, and to that I'm gonna add just a couple of drops of Worcestershire sauce and maybe about a teaspoon worth of my competition style rub. This is just gonna add a really good flavor to that tri-tip while we let it rest. It's gonna mix really well with the au jus sauces that the tri-tip creates, and it'll end up giving us a great dipping sauce. So let's put this on the smoker so that it can melt. All right, we've had the tri-tip on for about 45 minutes. Let's check it out. Oh man, just check out that amazing color. Our butter mixture is also looking pretty good. Now that it's reached 115 degrees, I want to go ahead and reverse sear it. Now you could use a charcoal grill, a gas grill, you could use a Blackstone, you could use cast iron. There are so many options for things that you can do. Just for comfort and ease today, I'm going to use my gas grill so I can get it up to as high of a temperature as I can get it. because I want to get an amazing crust on this tri-tip. Let's go ahead and put it on the gas grill so we can get that beautiful crust. All right, it's been a minute and a half. Let's go ahead and turn this tri-tip. Toss it at the other 45-degree angle and close it down. All right, it's been another minute and a half. Let's give it a flip and see how we're doing. Oh yeah, we're getting a little crust on there. Let's close it down and let it keep going. All right, we've been searing this tri-tip for about 4 minutes or so on each side, and just check it out. We're sitting at about 127 degrees. It's gonna rise up to a perfect medium rare. Let's go ahead and take this tri-tip off of the grill. Oh man, doesn't this tri-tip just look absolutely amazing? I've got some butcher paper laid out here, and here's that melted butter with that Worcestershire sauce and that competition style rub. And I'm just gonna drizzle it all over the tri-tip. And now I'm gonna wrap up this tri-tip so we can let it rest. We're gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes, just right here on the cutting board in the butcher paper. I tell you what, this tri-tip looks and smells absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to slice into it. But before we do, let's talk about what we did to get here. The first thing I did was take a 2.5 pound tri-tip and take off any extra silver skin or fat that I didn't want. Then we rubbed it down with some Worcestershire sauce and seasoned it with our Texas Cowboy rub and our competition style rub. We let it smoke on the Oklahoma Joe Bronco drum smoker at 250 degrees until it reached an internal temperature of 115 degrees. Then we threw it on our gas grill so that we could get a good sear on this tri-tip. Once we were done with that, we put it on some butcher paper with some of our melted butter, Worcestershire sauce, and competition style rub. And we've let it rest for about 15 minutes, and now here we are, and it's time. Let's slice into this tri-tip. We're ready to unwrap this tri-tip. Oh, this looks so good. Nice and buttery, juicy. It's had plenty of time to rest. Tell me how good that right there looks. Now remember, on our tri-tip, the grain runs 2 different ways. So we want to make sure we slice properly against the grain. On this side here, the grain is running this way, so we're going to do some thin slices. And we have a beautiful medium rare. Oh yeah, just check out how juicy that is, and it is a perfect medium rare. Now we're getting to the point where the grain is running this way, so we're going to go ahead and turn it so that we can slice it against the grain this way. Now this looks absolutely perfect. Now we've got this tri-tip back in the pan on the butcher paper with all of those juices, and this is going to be delicious. Oh man, this is the moment that I've been waiting for, so you know what time it is. We've got to take a bite. Hey, cheers to you, cheers to a good cook. Let's take a bite. That is so good. This has such an amazing flavor. That Worcestershire sauce gave it a really nice binder. That Texas Cowboy rub and that competition style rub really complement each other well on beef. If you've never had tri-tip, next time you're at your grocery store or see it at your butcher, you have definitely got to pick this up because it is delicious. Thank you so much for checking out our video today. If you like what we're doing here on the Wishing Well BBQ channel, make sure you click that subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on any of the fun. You can also follow us on all of our other socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you so much again for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.